This reporter places the blame for all of this squarely on you, the viewers.
Would you say we'd be venturing into a zone of danger?
It doesn't matter what you think.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Bryan Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 71. I'm Bryan.
Oh, I am Spencer.
Sitting directly to my right is probably most, besides my mom, probably the most requested guest.
That's true.
Welcome back, Chris.
It's almost.
Hey,
it's
everybody.
been a long time.
It has.
A long time.
That's some big shoes
I
to
think
fill,
we
by the way.
were-
Your mom said that episode was amazing.
I think we pissed Chris off last time. That's why he hasn't come back.
Well, I've done a lot of drinking.
Oh, you're talking about Bigfoot?
Yeah, isn't that what we had you on last time?
Was it Bigfoot or conspiracy theory? One of those.
Isn't it one and the
I think
same?
it was Bigfoot, though.
They go
I think
hand in
you're right.
hand.
Yeah. Same episode.
It is November the 1st. On this day in history, a lot of stuff happened with planes.
Really?
Yeah, in 1955, United Airlines Flight 629 blows up over Colorado.
Wow.
There's a bomb hidden in checked luggage, killed 44.
Of course.
In 1952, the first large hydrogen bomb tested in the U.S. I guess that's not a plain one, but And then 1911, the first bomb dropped from an aircraft.
Man.
Oh.
Is this a bunker we're in?
Dude, I got a story about a bunker later.
Are we doomsday preppers? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of.
Actually, I've never understood doomsday preppers because...
No, I run towards the light.
Well, yeah, frankly, if all the electronics are out and I can't watch Netflix or get on my phone anymore... Yeah. What's the point of being alive? What are these people going to do in their bunker? They're just going to be like, well, we're alive. I guess we should hang ourselves because there's nothing to do.
Well, and you've got to be around to produce the rest of the population, Spencer.
Yeah, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah. This, everybody, is the official celebration of our 1-year anniversary.
Yes, we have been on the podcast airwaves for a whole year.
Brought to you by Bang Bros.
Those are no applause needed there.
But that's why we wanted to have Chris on. I mean, for a myriad of reasons.
Thank you.
But it is a year anniversary, and it feels great.
You know what we could do is we could go through some of these drops that I have on here.
So for those of you who
From
are
the last
new to the
year.
podcast, Spencer went through a phase in the first 5 episodes where he'd pick out things that I said that were innuendos. And he would cut them and make them into things that I didn't necessarily say.
I don't know.
Some of them I did.
You did say a lot of these.
But they're called drops, and so I think he's going to play a few of them right
Yeah,
now.
I
So
do.
if we can, this is what we used to do.
Yeah.
We used to guess the episode or guess
if
the
you could
topic.
Guess what we were
yes.
talking about a year later.
All right, let's
a lot
hear
of these are pretty early, like this one.
Immediately. Come immediately. Come
I-
immediately.
I don't even know where that one came
Come
from
immediately.
I don't remember either.
It was accurate, I think.
I think Brian just looked at me and was like,
now. And it worked.
"Okay, yeah,
It was not a clean shaven day, though. I know that.
that was good."
By the way, I did that with my mouth. People should know that.
Oh, that was the.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But if you see me there, chances are I will be lubing up my feet. But if you see me there, chances are
Oh, that
I will
was.
be lubing up.
I was talking about sunscreen.
Yeah.
At the beach.
I think that was like our first episode, wasn't it?
Probably.
He is kind of a dick.
I was talking about my cat.
That could be any episode.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a wide, broad
If you
stroke
lean
there.
to wipe, it sticks to your. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. It's just.
That was the sanitary things you
Yeah.
pull to put on the toilet seat
Yeah.
that we don't use.
Yeah, that's
Do you
true.
use those?
Hell no.
Yeah, they stick to your
No,
leg.
I don't understand people. Just be a man. Grab a freaking roll a thing of toilet paper, wipe off all
Yeah.
the pee, and if you get AIDS, you get AIDS.
Right.
If you
All
get
right?
a little piss on your leg, it's sterile, okay?
That's
I
true.
tried to do the little lift up part, the.
But you can't put your hands
that's
on the
some,
No,
that's
no,
some
no.
arm strength, man.
No, that was back in my younger days.
Squat.
So, yeah.
Yeah, take your pants all the way off and squat over it.
Don't ever bear down too hard. You might vagal.
Exactly.
It was a Jeff Daniels moment where
Dude, the vagal
Full
story.
disclosure, I have used some Rogaine.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
But I got a story about the vagal real
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
I have a sinus infection right now, which reminds me I need to take some amoxicillin. And I was at the doctor at my work, and I think I've shared this on the pod. I don't get strep.
Yeah.
I get throat
Really?
infections. I sometimes get sinus infections. I've never had strep. They swabbed me for it. And the story I was sharing there is that they swabbed me for it, caused a vasovagal response, and I passed out.
Right.
I was in the
Vasovagal.
doctor's office this week, and she looked at my throat, and she's like, "Yeah, you got some white spots. Your tonsils are."
I have a very sensitive gag.
I did. So that's what I told her.
Do your thing. Okay.
And she said, "Don't throw up on me." I was like, "No, I don't throw up. I gag." And she's like, "Well," after she looked, she's like, "I told her I don't get strep, right?"
Uh-huh.
She's like, "Well, I think I want to swab you for strep." I said, "Okay, fair warning. The last time I got swabbed for strep, I vagaled in the doctor's office and I passed out." And she's like, "I'm not going to swab you for strep. Here's
Thanks,
some
but no thanks.
amoxicillin. You're fine." Anyway.
Did you have strep though?
No,
Oh.
no. I had a sinus infection, really bad. It hurt to the touch. If I just touched in between my eyebrows, it hurt.
Do you have tonsils?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Me too.
I
In
don't.
fact, I'm pretty sure that I have a tonsil stone down in there somewhere. That's
You
the
always
size,
do.
But this one
Did
is
you
like
stop digging them out?
It's like a fatberg or something. I can't get to it. It's back in there.
They do smell like
I
ass.
don't know where it is, and every time I try to do anything, I end up. I made myself. Oh, that was
made
right
yourself
before.
throw up.
That was right before an episode.
Yes.
I made myself throw up, and I was like, I didn't mean to. I just.
You know
like,
that look
I-
on your face, like right before you throw up, where your lip is kind of up? You
Yeah.
know? I walked into Spencer's house to record an episode, and he looked like that.
Oh,
And I said,
I
"What
would've
happened?"
Turned around, and walked right back out.
Yeah. I said, "What happened?" He's like, "I just made myself throw up."
I didn't mean to. I was just fishing for tonsils.
So my daughter's going through this exact same thing right now.
Oh, really?
And she's got an appointment like next week to have her tonsils taken out.
Oh,
but they're coming out like the same hole, and then they started coming out another hole. It's like the finger game, right? Where you
Yeah,
try to point
man.
the boat. Yeah.
Whack-a-mole.
I do get a sense of accomplishment when I get a big one out.
Whack-a-stone. Whack-a-stone.
I mean, how big are they? I mean,
They're like
I don't know.
like a big like a peppercorn. Maybe smaller than a peppercorn.
Probably smaller.
Okay.
Smaller than a pepper. Half a
The
peppercorn.
first time I did it, they were big, but now they've kind of scaled back.
It's 'cause he sings.
They haven't
They
had
get-
as much
it
time.
is cold outside.
They
so-
haven't had
Yeah.
as much time to,
They get worse when you sing. Do you have tonsils?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So you don't know.
I'm tonsil free.
I would
Tonsil
like
free.
to have mine out because they're freaking.
It is
annoying.
like, I mean, I hate to say this, but it is like one of the worst surgeries to get.
I've heard that.
Especially the
If
older
you're
you
older,
get.
yeah.
My wife still got them, and she wants them out. And trust
Yeah.
me, I want them out. But she,
You're on ice cream for like
I have
3
a
weeks.
very sensitive gag reflex.
Is that
Whatever.
Is that-
Do your thing. Okay?
is that what she says to you?
no,
my
come on, that's so 10
Sit
years
in the
ago.
chair. I'm like taking all my clothes off. And all of a sudden I looked at her and said, "Oh, something's really wrong."
Yeah, these are all from the same story.
Are they?
Yeah.
Unexpected
Not
genocide.
that one.
No, unexpected genocide. This is great for the 1 year. Keep going.
Well,
The problem is you don't pull any of your own nonsense.
no, I've got,
Yeah, he focuses on you.
I've
Yeah.
got a few of me here. Now, this isn't the first time that a Jamaican black guy has taken my virginity.
I love the way you cut
I
that
know,
one.
I
That was
know,
like
I
The
know.
Simpsons when he
yeah,
her
the
sweet
gummy.
can. Yeah.
Tell us about the second time. Spencer.
I've always been hard, especially
Oh.
with white girls. And she sticks me and it hurts like an MF. And she's like, "Oh shoot, let me go get a lot more time." And like he
Oh, he
uses
was
different
feeling it?
techniques. And
Yeah.
she was just like rubbing it in. He's like little light taps.
Yeah, just wanna be able to feel it.
Like, I don't know, man. He was so much better.
I think
Someone-
that was
someone-
when you were
Trying to
getting
blow, just so that the
yeah.
thing would come up.
So
That's
the
the
ma-
thing.
That is huge. That story, by the way, before was when you were getting blood drawn.
Yeah.
Hey,
Are you
I
sure you're
cheated
not-
on my wife with this
Oh,
woman.
forgot about that one.
Yeah, that one's just cold.
yeah.
Sounds like
it
you're
is.
getting charged by the minute almost.
Oh, shut the hell up.
Oh.
Doing pigeons. Doing pigeons. Doing pigeons. Doing pigeons.
That was one of the first ones. Randy.
Yeah, man.
I've never said who it was.
Oh.
But anyway,
It's Randy.
he almost shot me in the foot
He
Doing pigeons.
and then
with a 12
immediately.
gauge. I should say, I was telling someone else that story about when Randy almost shot me, and he was obeying proper safety protocol. The gun was faced down. I was probably just standing too close to him.
What? The gun
Nevertheless,
were you laying underneath him or something?
no. He was standing next to me with the gun pointed at
Right,
the ground,
right,
which is
right.
where it's either down or down range, right?
Right.
And I was
Muzzle
standing close to him.
control.
Yes, I mean he still went. I could see through his face.
Right.
But anyway, he feels really bad.
No, I actually did some Our Take homework
Did you?
today.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh,
I listened to the last episode before
All
I
right.
came on, and you were asking about the shooting in was it Fort Wayne?
Which one?
Fort Worth.
Yeah, isn't that bad?
The Dallas
Which one?
and Fort Worth.
Well, we talked about two. We talked about the
I watched the video of the guy coming through the window.
Yeah.
He's searching the door.
What'd you think?
Total bullshit.
Yeah.
And I know nothing. I just went to an academy. That's it. But they tell you it's like the pie chart, right? When you come around a corner or anything like that, you're taking off like little sections of a big pie, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, he apparently he likes pie because he just went all for the whole thing.
What did you like about my theory that they like worked themselves up? Didn't it seem like they were working themselves into an adrenaline rush?
Right. I'm listening to the 911 dispatch, and the neighbor's great neighbor, and
He's
listening,
calm.
just concerned with him,
Yeah.
whatever. But the video, man, looks like he's just amped, and he's looking for a reason to shoot.
Right.
I mean, not looking for someone to shoot, but just he's trigger happy,
Yeah, he was definitely on edge. Like I said, it was like he had too much coffee or something.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
And he didn't even knock on the door.
and that's like police 101. Like we went through building searches, and it was complete darkness, just like him. And you take it in these little pie sections,
Right.
and you've got a guy behind you. So I get it. Even if they didn't knock and they weren't announced, like you were talking about, still.
But it's he didn't even like turn and peek into the window.
No,
He was like 6 feet away from it. He just like shined his flashlight up into it. So
And
it wasn't.
And to your point, they weren't even like Walmart blinds, right? I mean, they were.
Yeah.
There was.
Yeah. So I mean,
She got these blinds at Target.
That's right.
All right.
Can't
Upscale blinds.
you can't tell in the video if they're closed for sure. There's a huge glare
Yeah.
in the video, but the shots afterwards of the crime scene, they're closed.
Yeah.
But like turned open just a tad. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's
sorry.
go back to the drops.
Yeah.
Only got a few more here.
Well, if you lean to watch,
Oh, we already did that one.
someone flushed a Pooh Bear.
I think I remember that one. Really,
I think
really
you might have
fondly.
been here.
I've been known to spell poo wrong.
How do you spell poo?
Me or generally? Sometimes
Something's really wrong.
sometimes I when I'm writing it, like if I was writing, I took a big poo, I always think of the Winnie the Pooh
Winnie the
spelling,
Pooh.
so I put
Throw-
an H
throw
on.
an H on
There's
there.
no H needed. It's superfluous.
Oh, I think that's. There's more, but I don't have them on this current. So let me just play, for you.
Yes.
And my very favorite one.
This storm will kill you.
Little
It
Shepherd.
will kill your children. It will kill your pets and everyone you know who wants to mess with it. And your kids die too.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Do we use the word patriot with Shepard?
Wait, what?
Sure.
Is he a patriot for leaving?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think he was a patriot for
Staying.
covering the news the way he did for so long. It'd be awesome if he joined.
He
like
was a
MSNBC.
patriot for being gay at Fox News. I mean, that's
That's true. I mean, he lasted that long, and
Speaking of which, before we, in between last episode and now, the impeachment is a little bit more formal.
well, we haven't released the episode.
No, but it still happened. It still happened.
All right,
We recorded
all right.
a few days ago, and so I mean, Merry Christmas, right?
hopefully.
I mean,
yes.
it's,
I don't know.
but here's
On the last episode, you literally, I asked you if you
I
think
know.
anything was
I
going to
know.
happen, and you
but
said no.
Either way, it's both sad and good.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't, whatever, because it shows people taking a stand. But I tell you what, I saw a group of Republicans take this podium today on some press conference, just spewing garbage.
Oh yeah.
For 2 weeks, for a month, they've been complaining about the process.
Mhm.
So
Other than Mitt.
other than Mitt, so Nancy and the Democrats say, "Fine, you want the process? Here's the process," and now they're bitching about that. Now they're bitching about the process.
Yep, and they'll bitch about anything else that
Yeah,
comes up.
and so the talking points that you hear now are that here's what you're going to hear from the Republicans. I'll tell you two of them. One is that the Republicans in the committees have been neutered. That's one that they're using a lot. And that this is a Soviet-style impeachment.
Yeah.
You'll hear that one from the Republicans.
Colbert's argument to that
He would
was,
know.
you remember how Stalin reigned for 30 years,
Right.
and then he was impeached by death.
Right. Man, just listening to them.
You know what? That's the worst part of it. I mean, Trump's Trump, but it's worse that even people that call themselves Republicans don't take what they're doing seriously.
So BuzzFeed put out a podcast, only 15 minutes long. It's called Impeachment Today, new episode every day. And the host just talks about the news of the day regarding the impeachment. On one of the episodes, he had a woman, another reporter, on the phone, and then he turned his voice into sounding like the phone, and they read the transcript, quote unquote. It's not a transcript, first of all, of the call with Ukraine. It's
transcript
notes.
with white out.
Right. But they read the text, right?
Right.
And even if you read it in that way, we should do it and put it at the end of the episode. When you read it like a phone call and hear it like a phone call, it totally sounds threatening. Because the president of Ukraine's like, we really appreciate the aid, we're getting, and Trump's
What are
like,
you doing for me?
yeah, Trump's like, oh, by the way, I have a favor. It's like right after.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Everybody's going to have their own interpretation.
This is where
of it, but-
they needed Spencer to edit,
Yeah.
right? Because they would have been more.
Yeah. Trump did say he was going to have a fireside chat, pulling the Roosevelt out.
What?
And he was going to read the transcript to us.
Oh gosh, is he actually going to read it?
No,
Okay.
but that's the thing. He's
Does
like,
he know how
it's
to
word
read
for word, comma for comma. No, it's fucking not. It's a freaking. They typed up the general sense of the call. A
Yeah.
transcript is like if this conversation right now we're having was being typed by a court recorder. That's a transcript.
Word for word.
Yeah. No, that's not what the call is, people. You don't put a ... in a transcript.
Well, that's how I Twitter.
Right. It's true. Because it was that lieutenant colonel that said the ellipses, the ... is where Burisma was mentioned
Ah.
by name. The White House just thought, we should take that name out.
You know, I heard an interesting fact today, though, that it scares me a little bit. And like you said, even if it doesn't lead anywhere, that it's really like I think there was 2 Democrats that joined the Republicans in basically voting down it, right? And to me, it's like, are we going to just? I think are they just milking it at this point? Are they just trying to?
So, man, there's a lot of theories floating around, and I've listened to a lot of radio about it. NPR and podcasts and stuff like that. So, I think that it's going to be very embarrassing for the president when the lawyers for the Democrats embarrass the lawyers for Trump.
How could you embarrass Rudy Giuliani?
Have you noticed he's gone?
Oh, yeah, I know.
They hit me away somewhere.
Yeah. They put a hit out on him.
But so I didn't know this. There is a rule in the Senate that if impeachment is sent to them, which it's likely to be sent to them, they need a 2/3 to remove him, right? They need 66 to remove him from office,
Right.
which would that's about 20 Republicans. But they actually have anybody in the Senate can call for a motion to dismiss the case, and all it takes is 51. Isn't that interesting?
You know what's interesting to me is like, let's say Pence is like just the poster boy, right? If you're a Republican, wouldn't you just want at this point
Absolutely.
get Trump out of there just so you can get the
That's
bitch
what
out of there?
we talked about that in the last episode. Is I don't understand why
yes.
they're not just like, yeah, let's just
Every
let's be
Republican,
gone.
except for maybe Matt Gaetz and Mike Lee,
Right.
should be like, hey, this is our opportunity to get someone normal who doesn't leave our allies getting shot at.
And it's still got an R by his name, so
Right.
he's still there. We're still
Right.
good.
For
Everybody-
all of the evil that Mike Pence is,
Yeah, he's very
at
evil.
least he's Republican.
Yeah, and
you would think that's the default, right?
Right.
No matter how we screw this up, we got Pence.
We got Pence. So anyway, my point is that the Senate could dismiss this immediately, but then
McConnell doesn't do that.
the Republicans are like, no, we would rather acquit him than dismiss the case.
oh, maybe they're going to go forward then, and then surprise.
Surprise, 20 Republicans. Come on.
Yeah, maybe they're totally trolling him, you know?
Dude, hold out faith. Anyway, that's where we're at with impeachment. That happened in between last episode and this. I think we talked about how the vote was going to happen.
Yeah, and our 4th District Congressman here in Utah, Ben McAdams, are the only Democrat we have.
Yep.
But he is a moderate, very
I
moderate.
was going to say, is he really a Democrat?
It's well,
He's he's a true moderate.
he
Democrat.
really is. Like he really is. And frankly,
Or he knows his district very well.
if he were, yeah, maybe. If he were in my district, I would vote for him. If he were in my district, I would make love to him. If he were running for president, I would vote for him and carry his child.
Would you have done that with Matheson when he was done?
No.
No? Ben's just a better fit.
He's an attractive man. So he went on a local radio station here with a radio show host who Doug Wright. He retired a few years ago,
yeah.
but he's back on because they can't find anyone to fill the.
Holy shit! By the way,
Yeah.
do you follow Dick Norse on Facebook?
No, is he still alive?
Yes, and he's hilarious.
Is he good?
He's a full-blown liberal.
Is
Who?
He? Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Dick Norse, remember Dick Norse on KSL?
Yeah, he's got like
Oh,
his big
oh.
puffy shoulders like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
Sorry,
digress. Doug Wright.
He's got a family member though that's pretty left, right? Like
Probably.
I think he was.
Dick
like
Norse
gay
was like
pride
the
and-
Doug Wright of the '90s.
Anyway, Doug Wright is he had Ben McAdams on his show, and I want to listen to this interview here. I should note here that Doug Wright is a known conservative. Like,
Sure.
I wouldn't say he's not Bill O'Reilly conservative or
No,
anything. I
he's
think
not crazy.
No, I think he's become a lot more moderate the past few years.
No, he's probably stayed, but the Republican Party has
No,
moved.
I agree. You're
Yeah.
right.
We need to know if that happened. What are the circumstances? Did it really is that what happened, or is it just party spin? I don't know at this point, but we should not be. We need to get to the bottom of this. The public deserves to see
on the
exactly what
transcript.
happened, and then we can make a decision. But I don't think we should be at this point prejudging the outcome, either yes or no. We need to let the facts get on the table, see the facts, and then make a decision.
It is interesting because undoubtedly arms have been twisted in the past. United States support has been held until certain things, usually human rights, usually giving up a particular tactic in weaponry, whatever it might be. So has influence been used before to withhold things? Absolutely. But the question here is whether or not it was withheld when it had the approval of Congress in order to basically get the skinny on who could be a potential thorn in your side in an upcoming election. I mean, that should get the attention of everybody. And if that happened, we're talking some pretty serious stuff. But
Thank you,
has the arm
Doug.
twisting occurred, and have we withheld
Doug
things
Wright
from
says a lot of good
different
things in this
governments
interview.
over the
Thank you,
years in
Doug.
order
Has
to
he ever
get
used the word
our
skinny,
way
though?
and
I think that's the
to
first,
get
no?
a little bit more of
I don't know.
a
I've heard him swear on the radio
Oh, yeah.
before
level
on
playing
KSL.
field. That has
Wow.
happened, but boy, for political gain, individual political gain in an upcoming election, that really is that's just not kosher.
Doug's got street
That's right,
cred.
Doug. I mean, that's really serious. I think when you look at the influence of money in politics and how troubling that is, and how what a corrupting influence money in politics is. But if you imagine now we open the door to a presidential candidate reaching out to foreign countries to set our foreign policy based on whether they will help in a presidential election, that really sets a terrible precedent for our country, compromises our national security. I want to know that my president, Republican or Democrat, is 100% loyal to the American people and loyal to this country and isn't out there buckling to pressure from any power, any foreign power who doesn't have our interests at heart in order to curry favor in an election. We see that happening far too often with the influence of super PACs and corporations in politics, and that is lamentable. We do not want to go further down this road and open up the doors to foreign powers. So, again, I'm not reserving judgment. I think we need to see the facts, but if, in fact, that's what was happening, that's a dangerous precedent for our country.
Do you know what makes this so hard for me, Ben? And you and I have known each other a long time. I can speak candidly here. This president disappoints me daily. This president often embarrasses me as a United States citizen. This president often offends me and offends me deeply.
He's got an erection.
And I keep trying to remind
Seriously.
myself that
He says,
there's
"Oh."
a difference between being disappointed in a president, being offended by a president, and even sometimes being outraged at some of the tactics of a particular person. There's a difference between being offended and having an impeachable offense. And there are some that so wildly and I believe blindly support this president. I've never quite seen anything like that either. And I think for them, I think it's very, very difficult for them who are just, I mean, damn the torpedoes. They're supporting this person no matter what. And the president is right. He could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and I would still support him. This is such a unique case that we're dealing with here.
Well, and I'm going to point the finger first at the Democratic Party. I'm a Democrat, but I think, Democrats have been calling for impeachment for too long. Over, like you said, Doug, they're offended by the president. We should impeach him. They don't like this policy. We should impeach him. That is wrong. If you don't like a president's policies, if you don't like his demeanor, the solution to that is to vote against him. And so I think it feels a little bit that the Democrats have been crying wolf for too long, and that's really disappointing. That now I think the allegations that have been made are really serious, and they shouldn't be just ignored. We shouldn't jump to conclusions, but we shouldn't ignore them either. But I think people are a little bit numb to it, and we can't be numb. I've opposed impeachment all along until these allegations.
All right, so that's the main point. Those two comments that Doug made. First of all, Doug is a known conservative.
Yeah, he's going to get crucified.
He retired, and during his last year, people nailed him to the wall on his comment. I've never heard a radio host get like so agitated with people.
Yeah.
Because anyway, and then so I liked everything he said there, and I completely agree with him. And I did like what he said. You may not agree with the president. You may not. His demeanor may bug you. You know, all that sort of stuff. But that's not an impeachable offense. And I like Ben McAdams' response. I do think the Democrats have been crying wolf. They've just been like, he did this. We got to impeach him. They've been actively trying to impeach him. So it's easy for their base to jump on board and say, well, the Democrats just won't stop. They're just coming at us. They're making stuff up. So,
but I would say this: the impeachment cried wolf thing.
Yeah,
crying wolf and whatever, how you want to say that. that is a Republican talking point. Not every Democrat has ever talked about impeachment. In fact, dude
you're
from
right.
Georgia, I think, or somewhere, brought impeachment to the House floor, and Democrats shot it down.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi on Colbert said that she never wanted to impeach him. And Colbert, who's a nightly critic of the president, said that he opposed impeachment because it's better to have the American people kick him out.
So I don't like the cried wolf argument. I think that there's been one or two Democrats who have been very vocal about impeachment from the beginning, but that's not Democrats.
No,
that was one or two dudes who got it voted down by their colleagues.
And to Pelosi's credit, she held the door as long as she was Hodor, right?
Yes.
She was Hodor as long as she could. And but when you get sprinkles of this stuff, I mean, how much more is it going to take? Do
you guys see my point with the phone with the?
No, yeah, for sure.
Investigate this corruption.
That totally makes sense.
I can also see where he.
I'm just saying that this base is. His base, this sounds terrible. It's pretty gullible. I mean,
for sure.
They voted on him based on memes and Hillary Clinton running a freaking child sex ring in a pizza basement. So
that's not true.
So, having SNL sketches since day one about impeaching and getting rid of the president, and Colbert and all these pundits getting on there and talking about impeaching the president has really set a precedent for they're coming after us. They're taking our guns. They're taking our jobs, And so at this point, it's just like, give it a rest. Is that's not my opinion, but that's probably their feeling, even though we have a good 51% of the country now that
what would you rather have, though? Would you rather have these fireworks, or would you rather have just gridlock like we've had for years?
No, I like the fireworks.
Yeah.
It's history. This is a historical moment.
You know what, though?
Get the popcorn.
You know what that brings me to? That brings me to this. Brian and Chris, let me ask you a question. So, before we started this podcast, I wasn't really that into politics, and I have a lot of friends who aren't really into politics. And the other day I started thinking I was a lot less angry with people and frustrated when I didn't really pay that much attention to politics. So is it in our interest to really pay that much attention to politics or not? Does it divide us more? I mean, on the one hand, you have well, if you don't pay attention, then the country just goes to these bastards and they're just going to do whatever they want because no one's going to vote except for the boomers. But at the same time, I have found myself feeling angry and resentful to people that I never would have before. And I don't particularly like that, but it's also caused me to put them, like I have a friend on Facebook that I unfollowed because he didn't post, he was wearing a MAGA hat and that's it. And I'm like, that's it. And I just instantly judged him. And so I don't know.
Do you feel that way when you see a Confederate flag?
Yes.
Yeah.
So first of all, you're right. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, we lived in ignorance a long time. You know, all the American people did. And then we got a 24-hour news cycle.
Right.
Then we got the internet. Then we got Facebook, right? Which Trump did win with fake memes.
Right.
We know that now. Propagated by Cambridge Analytica. Funded by Russia. That was in the Mueller report.
Right.
Sure, there was no collusion. No one's fucking saying there was anymore. But they are saying that Russia did get involved.
Right.
They did meddle. And this president's done nothing about it.
You know, I think, to your point, though, Spence, I think there's a middle spot there, right? And I think you touched on it maybe the last couple of episodes or not. Like, there's a middle ground where you just could block out this news corporation, this news corporation. I try and stay in the center. Like, my wife, she's older than I am by 6 years. She voted for the very first time, I think, the year Obama was elected.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're a mother. You have children. If you're going to sit on your hands and ignore it, then whatever happens, happens, right? But then, to your point, like, you can get so obsessed where you're just like, God, I hate everything, right?
Right.
And I can't stand what this person's saying, this person's saying. Like, I've done what Brian's done. Maybe not to his extent as far as, like, watching Hannity and Laura and stuff like that. But I've watched Shep, right? And, you know, for the longest time, like, he was pretty down the middle, right? And of course, that's the afternoon shift, right?
Right. That's the actual news portion of Fox News.
Yeah. So I try, but I to your point, like, I give you street cred big time because I can't even listen to clips with these people, right?
It's hard.
Because they're just drinking the Mike's lemonade really hard.
Well,
right?
that, and I mean, I know CNN is his biggest target, but
Which
you know,
shouldn't be, shouldn't it?
in Trump's defense, like, all these things I get from them are always pretty slanderous. Like,
well, so
I mean,
will say,
I understand that he says a lot of dumb crap, but it's always like, can you believe he said this? You know, and I'm like, okay, CNN.
the difference is, I think this happens in every generation. You know, you go back to Vietnam, you go back to the late 70s with like the oil shortage or whatever it was, right? People lining up at gas stations. The difference is that two things. It does start to affect your daily life, right? And my dad always told me that's when people get involved. They get involved in politics when they see their daily life affected.
Correct.
When you see taxes go up.
Passionate.
When you see health care get so fucked. When you see that you can't afford insulin. That's when you do start to get involved, right? The other time is when you see moral issues, like locking children up, taking them away from their parents, seeing the humanitarian crisis in Yemen and we're doing nothing, abandoning the Kurds, our allies. For the civilians, right? We have evidence that Erdogan committed crimes against humanity. Just barely, just recently, right? He used gases that are banned by the Geneva Convention on civilians in Syria, on the Kurds, you know? So we're in a moment now where it's not just about politics in general and whether we want to be a conservative state or a liberal state. Now it's moral issues where people are dying. We're treating people like animals. We're putting them in cages, right? and people are dying because they can't afford insulin. They're going to Canada where it's $10 for a pack that's $1,000 here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are the issues that start changing people to start caring.
Right.
You know, and we didn't have a lot of those issues even during W.
Yeah, you know, I can go a lot more vanilla. Like, to me, you're a father. I'm a father. Spencer, I don't know if the kids have ever tracked you down. But,
I've got 7 birds.
You're a father. No, I literally have 2 kids, and I just can't say, listen, hey, this is the guy that is our leader in the free world, and this is the example that you should set.
Yeah, what a role model.
Yeah, that's the thing I can't hit home. You know what? I hate to sound ignorant. Screw everything else that's out there. I just can't say that this is a model citizen, right?
No.
I mean, you don't elect. I mean, that's like saying, you know, like, I don't even know where I was going with that.
That's
Anyway.
like saying President Donald Trump is the president, right?
Yeah, that's like Kim Kardashian
it's like electing
being
Donald Trump.
president, right? You can't. I mean,
people complain about identity politics,
right?
But your morals, your superego, is your identity. It's woven into the fabric of your soul, and so when those get threatened, when someone starts shitting on what you think is moral, that's when you get involved.
Because you and I have been through, 5 presidents?
Isn't that why President Trump got elected? Because the right wing thought that we were encroaching on their guns and their beliefs and their...
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they're out of place. You know what I mean? But they also can't bring a logical argument to the table.
Right.
You know?
But even with W, like you said, like, at least I could tell my kid, look, this guy, he talked presidential. He stood up there. He said, you know, granted, I didn't agree with him anyway. And, you know, there were all sorts of fun games that, you know, he was just a brain-dead president.
I like W. He's friends with Ellen.
But I've actually gained a lot more respect for him out of office because I've gotten to know the real guy, right? But at least I could tell my son, hey, this is the president.
Right.
Have some respect, whatever. You can't do that right now.
No.
Man, I think W is an endearing guy, right? But I look back at Iraq.
It's bad.
And we killed probably close to 1 million people.
It's bad. Yep.
In Iraq. You know, that's really hard. History books are going to be really tough on that, you know. Now, winners write history, right? So they're going to be written by winners. But so will they be truthful?
I just hope Dick Cheney gets his comeuppance in the history books.
The word demagogue gets thrown around a lot, you know, and I don't think people understand. So let me just read you the definition of demagogue, and you tell me, all right? A demagogue.
Upside down?
A demagogue, or they're also known as a rabble-rouser, is a leader who gains popularity in a democracy by exploiting prejudice and ignorance to arouse the common people against elites, whipping up the passions of the crowd, and shutting down reasoned deliberation.
Hey,
if that doesn't embody Trump's campaign, like, this is probably their mission statement. Their mission statement is exploit prejudice. We hate Muslims. We want to ban them. We want to build a wall, get rid of the Mexicans. Black people have just as many rights as everyone else. Gay people are doing just fine. You know what I mean? Ignorance to arouse the common people, people who didn't care before.
Right.
Yep.
I've now been aroused because of these prejudices.
The rocks have been moved. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Whipping up passions of the crowd and shutting down reasoned deliberation. Who has rallies? Who has re-election rallies 2 months into their presidency?
Does that mean he's a representative?
He is a representative of
He's
some.
been running the whole time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to your point.
He has never stopped running for
No,
president.
exactly.
I've never seen a president or read a history book about a president who held rallies during their first 2 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bush didn't ride the train the whole 4 years.
I know one. What's his name?
Adolf is his name.
Adolf.
Is he from Ukraine?
Hitler.
Hitler. I mean, and you're talking the passions of the crowd. When you think of the passions of the crowd, what do you think about?
I don't know. It makes me think of the Passion of the Christ.
It does.
I was going there too. Yeah.
But that's the same thing. It's the same thing. You could take it back to Christ. What did you have when Pilate brought Jesus out there? You had a fickle crowd who was aroused by their passion, who made a bad decision.
Yeah, William Wallace.
Are you saying we should crucify Trump?
Yes.
I'm more of a William Wallace gut the fish guy, I think.
Right. Yeah.
I'm kind of kidding.
But the Founding Fathers were very clear about warning against demagogues. In fact, we talk about the Electoral College. One of the main arguments pro-Electoral College was to avoid a demagogue.
Oh.
Because our electors, the people who go to D.C. and submit the votes to the vice president, were supposed to be smarter than the people and say these people have been had
sure
by
ain't
a
the
demagogue. Sorry, guys, you were had by a demagogue. He's fake. He's a liar. He does not represent the values that you think you have.
How does the far right like this guy, though?
It's guns, because he plays to their passions, right?
He fornicates.
Donald Trump's never shot a gun. He's never fired a weapon. He's never driven a car.
He's never talked to a Mexican.
He's never combed his hair. Oh.
Guns, dude. The guns are the best. You can shut that down with 2 sentences. How are you going to fight an F-35 with your AK-47?
I'll shoot it in the pee hole.
The P-tube.
The pedo tube.
The pedo tube, whatever it's called. Yeah. And then they'll go up and down, up and down, up and
That's
down.
right.
That's actually, I'd never even thought about that. I need my AR-15 in case the government takes over. Because that will fend off against an M1 Abrams.
Have I not articulated this
No,
argument?
I've never heard you say that before.
Are you allowed by the Second Amendment to have a tank?
I wish.
To have an RPG? Right?
Really?
To have a Black Hawk, to have an Osama bin Laden helicopter.
Yeah. I would be first on the waiting list for that.
You think that we stand a chance in hell against the United States military if they fall in line with their commander-in-chief? Are you serious?
We Echo 1. We've got a rebel with a
go back.
It looks like an AR-15.
Go back 4 years.
Why don't you nuke him?
Was it 4 years ago, Ferguson?
Yeah.
There you go. That's what happens when people rise up against a government.
Well, let me throw this at you, and this will be my my final Trump thing, maybe. What do you think of Bill Maher's thought on, even if he gets out of office, that he's not going to leave? What do you think about that?
Spencer
I don't know.
Feels this way.
I don't know. I would like to think that won't happen, but if saying that feels like I'm getting on the radical side. Yeah, like the far super radical left. Like,
let's delve into the specifics. So you're saying, let's say that he either loses or the Senate does vote to physically removing him from.
I have all the tough people.
Yeah, it's like the bikers.
Right.
I got the bikers.
And the cops and the military.
Lucky for him, the military's pissed off at him right now.
So that it's going to come down to specifics, right? Would the Secret Service still back him?
Probably not.
Right? Would the Sergeant at Arms in the Capitol or the Capitol Police back him? Would the National Guard? Would the military?
Well,
we have to get down to specifics.
Based
there.
on the crowd at the Nationals game, it doesn't sound like DC has a lot of love for him. So maybe not.
Because if he was removed, or if another president was elected, right? Let's go with elected. Let's say impeachment doesn't happen, and he loses the election, and on January 20th, another president is inaugurated. Mm-hmm. Well, now that president is
the president,
the commander-in-chief.
Mm-hmm.
So
they don't have to listen to him anymore.
No.
I mean, do you think he's still going to get a security detail?
Yeah, that's in the
does it have to be? Can we make? Let's do a resolution.
Obama's the one that brought it back.
Yeah, Clinton removed it.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. He said that they would only get protection for 10 years.
Because that's going to be pretty expensive.
It is. Obama said that...
I mean, he is 70.
Obama was like, I'm the first black president. I'm going to need it forever.
For life.
So
it was pretty crazy that they removed it for life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does Jimmy Carter really still need a Secret Service detail?
I don't know, man. He kicked my ass last week.
I can't. Like, who's like, you know what will really piss off the Americans? If we get Jimmy Carter. And trip him so he falls and breaks his hip.
But 10 years isn't that long.
He's got a peanut allergy.
10 years isn't that long, right?
No.
I mean, we're more than...
Okay, but...
We're 10 years removed from Bush, and people still hate that guy. Do you imagine removing Bush's detail right now?
I don't know. I guess not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It costs a lot of money. It does.
Well, not any more than flying Air Force One to
No.
a foreign country, which costs
Just look at a pie
hundreds
chart.
of millions of dollars.
Go look at
because
our defense budget.
They bring two jets, 4 giant cargo jets with all their own fuel,
5 lookalikes.
helicopters, motorcade.
That's gotta be hard now.
Basically an army of people.
We need some ugly ass people to be the lookalikes
That's
for this
right,
president.
man. There's always Alec Baldwin, I guess.
So you have in the rundown here topical costume. You were talking about Halloween.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to talk about this earlier before we got into heavy stuff.
Yeah, that's deep.
So, let's do it.
No, because I have a picture I want to show you guys.
I have a picture too. I wonder if it's the same
Is it the
picture.
kids?
No.
Oh, I've seen that one.
All right, you ready?
Oh,
I'm gonna
Okay,
turn this
well,
around.
hold on.
Okay.
Let's start this off.
That's
Yeah.
hard.
Did you? Yesterday was Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm hard. What?
What?
Sorry. Yesterday was Halloween.
Table shake.
You have children. Did you dress up for Halloween?
Yes.
What were you?
At work we did a grease theme, so I just wore like a white T-shirt and
Were you a T-bird?
yeah, whatever. Quinn really wanted to be a crossing guard.
Oh,
So she was a crossing
was
guard.
very
I thought you
adorable,
were
by
going to
the way.
say. I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say cross-dresser, and I was like, "That is interesting
She's transgender.
for that age." But
Starting early.
Yeah. Ashley was a ballerina.
Okay.
At Quinn's request.
Yeah.
Yep.
Saw that.
Chris, did you dress up at all?
I did, but nobody knew who I was.
What did you dress up as?
So I am a very large man, and so costumes do not appeal to very large people.
I agree.
I dressed up. I usually wear a polo and jeans or shorts to work every day, and I dressed up in a suit with a black tie and a black shirt. And they're like, so who are you?
Fat Johnny Carson.
I'm like,
I mean,
who do
John.
And I go, who do I look like? He goes like, Tony Soprano. I mean, you trying to be? I go, great answer.
Oh, that's smart.
And then my boss comes up and he goes, so what are you? I go, you told me to dress up. I dressed up. I didn't wear a polo and jeans, you know.
What do you want from me?
That's right. I mean, to be honest, I was trying to go for John Wick, but I just don't have the hair for it.
It's true.
Yeah, the hair. That's.
And it was so last minute. You
And
know.
the neared. You gotta
Yeah.
have the neck
And I have too much vocabulary.
Well, I went as Eddie Murphy, so I put.
Which one?
I bet
Which
you
Eddie
I
did.
put
Murphy?
some black makeup on my face. No, I didn't dress up. I actually
Which Eddie
forgot.
Murphy were you?
Flubber.
So what picture do you want to
Okay,
show?
so real quick, I would have dressed up if I could think of something topical or funny, and I just, for the life of me, couldn't. But today, there's been a few postings on Facebook. This guy is the Wall.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Dressed up as the Wall.
Is that the Colorado Wall or?
yeah. No, it says USA Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. Oh, sorry.
Doesn't say New Mexico.
That's the one that's wired.
So it's got a guy, and he's made it where it looks like his leg is climbing over the wall. Anyway, what is yours?
They're missing the teeter.
My picture.
Yeah.
This
is rough.
This is rough.
This is rough.
Okay.
Now, the picture I saw earlier, the children's faces were not blurred. I can't find an unblurred picture now.
Just like the boobs at the World
Google's
Series.
taking them down.
Yeah.
This is
Oh.
3 white children.
That's not topical. That's racist.
There's 3 white children. One of them, a boy, is dressed as Donald Trump wearing a MAGA hat. The second child is white in blackface
okay.
as Obama. And the third child is dressed as Hillary Clinton, and they're both in chains being dragged by Donald Trump.
Disgusting.
Who?
Wait, hold on. They live in a trailer, first of all. That is definitely a trailer.
Yeah, it looks like a good double wide.
Either that or it's a portable at school, because that's a big yard.
No, that is a trailer.
It's a big yard over
no,
there.
it's a trailer, and it's probably going to be destroyed by a tornado, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
As I was
Damn, double
Googling,
wide.
so I saw the picture of their faces earlier.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and not that it matters, but it's just interesting. But apparently this person deleted their Twitter account.
You
Shocking.
think?
Yeah. Yeah,
What do they think is going to happen when they post that picture?
I don't know.
So
What-
you saw it non-blurred?
Yeah, I saw their faces.
What was their expression then?
They're sad. So
Like, why the hell
Obama
my
and
hair?
Hillary are sad because they're in chains.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I'll share this to our Facebook page, and then
you sure about that?
the Trump kid is just I will give them credit. They did make his red tie long as hell.
Yeah, that is good.
Which is important.
That's a big MAGA.
Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't give him the real hat.
Find a freaking real hat.
$25 was too
I would.
steep.
You know what? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Trump sued him.
Right. Yeah.
They went after him. That's not a licensed hat, son.
Yeah, that was not made in China.
Yeah.
That was clearly made in Vietnam.
Knowing Trump, he'll bring them to the next rally.
So
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
sure people will have some serious thoughts about this because it's kind of
It's awful.
it's pretty bad, man.
I want to know these people.
So, obviously, the parents were
Great people.
great people.
Right.
Only fantastic people. But I don't know, man. I think just when you think that this will eventually go away, like I've got people at work that tell me, once the boomers are gone, and it's just these young people, we're going to be fine. Everybody's more embracive. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just going to make it come back.
I
right?
mean, I've changed a lot since I was a kid. I mean,
he was the most
You weren't bald?
bigoted.
Yeah. No. Well, I definitely I wouldn't. I don't know about bigoted, but I was way different, and so let's just hope those kids grow up and their empathy tree grows, and maybe they're at least if those kids were half as racist as their parents, they'd be fine.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Let me improvise here. What if that was just the kid with the red hat on? Then how do you think that's received?
Well, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Because about like all the news articles where the high school guys have worn the hats and they've gotten like stones thrown at them.
Sure, and that's stupid.
Yeah.
Frankly, I would be okay with this picture if there were no chains.
Yeah.
If it was just Trump, Obama, and Hillary. We talked about this on an episode, which is why is blackface offensive?
Right.
This is clearly offensive.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just
Right?
a little bit.
But if it was just three kids wanting to go as Trump, Obama, and Hillary, that we talked about this with Trudeau. And I could, like I said, I am not trying to be insensitive. I could be completely wrong, but please explain to me why Justin Trudeau's blackface is offensive. That was the one we were talking about.
Right.
But anyway, no, if that kid was, I'm sure there were a lot of children in Mississippi that went as the president. I'm sure.
It's.
I don't know where you're going to tie that long, but I mean, it's.
No order.
Yeah.
The same place where Trump mail ordered his bride.
Right.
That was bad.
That's good.
I got to tell you guys a story about a bunker when we come back if we're taking a break right now.
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and take a break. That was long.
That's what she said.
Oh no,
Was.
not my wife.
It's cold. It's cold.
She never said that. When we come back, we do have some random headlines. I don't remember what they are. So
They're random.
Yeah, they will be off the chain for sure. We also have a game we're going to play, and we're going to make love. So we'll be right back.
I've had a lot of time to just sit in here and think. Starting to realize I have this pattern of behavior where I always want more. More weed, more drinks, more deals with the Chinese. It's never enough. See, I've always had my flaws, but at the end of the day, I cared about people. You know what the president said? He said just deny everything and make yourself the victim. Yeah, well, maybe he's part of how I got here. Maybe the president has brought down my moral meter. I don't mean to cast blame, I'm to blame, but ever since he was elected, I've compared my morals to his. And no matter how awful I am, I'm never as bad as the president, so I'm okay.
This is the Our Take Podcast. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Random headlines are brought to you by the letter P for penis. I mean, Pachina.
China.
What China?
Putin, China.
Pampers.
His favorite two words.
China?
Putin China.
Vagina.
All right. So this story, random headlines. That's what we're doing right now.
Sure.
This story is out of Kankakee County, which is in a state somewhere.
Kennedy.
It's got to be Florida.
I guess it's Illinois.
Chicago.
So I guess the Kankakee Police Department posts all their wanted people or their warrants on their Facebook page once a week.
That's crazy. You forgot to pay a ticket. You're like, oh shit,
that's
me.
That's actually kind of what happened. But thanks for ruining the.
Oh,
no, I'm just joking. So
that's why Spencer's been traveling.
Yeah. So they post this guy's picture on there, and he is wanted for missing a court date for a DUI. And the person who was wanted responded to them on Facebook, and this took place on Halloween. And he said, I'll turn myself in, but where's my costume? So the police department went ahead and photoshopped a sailor suit costume onto...
the ship's ahoy.
Yeah.
Ahoy!
Ahoy!
With a hat that says ahoy and everything. And then he turned himself in at noon that day.
You know what? There is a place. Pretty sure you can Google, do I have warrants?
Yeah.
Because if you forgot to pay a ticket, you have a bench warrant.
Wow, I should.
On the flip side, you can look up if the state owes you money. We've already received 2 checks.
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah,
I always check it.
I did that.
It's my wife, though. I got nothing. They screwed me.
10 years ago, I did it, and I got $100. I don't know what for, but
you know what it's for.
I don't like that it doesn't. It didn't tell me where it was from. It was some random property company or something. I don't know. Okay, I'll take it.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever.
We'll tax it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Another criminal in Newark, New Jersey. Actually, this guy's not a criminal, but TSA was doing their job on this one, which I know is crazy to think because, honestly, TSA is worthless. And I do highly recommend go ahead and springing for TSA pre-check. It's a game changer.
Yeah, and you're paying their salary.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
So how does that work? What's a pre-check?
You basically pay the state to tell them you're not a terrorist.
Oh.
You pay a
Sweet.
fee.
Is that monthly?
If you pay a fee, there's no way you're a terrorist.
No. So what I had to do was fill out a big form, and then I sent it in to them, and they did a huge background check on me. I paid them $85, had an interview with them, and they gave me what's called a known traveler number. And so now...
You don't have to get swabbed or anything?
All I have to do is put my bag on the X-ray thing.
Oh, right.
And I don't have to take my computer out. I don't have to take my shoes off, and then I go through a metal detector. I don't have to go through the naked machine. But there's
anybody could do that,
There's no.
I want to go sign up,
line.
and when they give me
line.
the form, I'll write a name and be like, "Oh, I put the wrong name," and hand it back, and it says Muhammad.
That's my Muslim name. I mean,
oh shit! You're Muslim. I gotta go.
Anyway, the TSA agents. The TSA agents thought there was a gun in this gentleman's bag. When they put it through the X-ray, they looked at it. It looked like a gun, but upon closer inspection, it was revealed to be a gun-shaped toilet paper roller.
Oh,
gun-shaped? What?
Yeah.
Is that on Amazon?
Like a toilet paper holder?
Oh my gosh! Actually, we got to remind me to show you the most ridiculous thing I found on Amazon the other day.
A toilet paper holder.
Yeah, toilet paper.
Not a toilet paper roller, like you're rolling your own toilet paper.
When it's done, does it say "bang" on the end?
that would be
That's genius.
That would be genius.
Proof of concept.
There's
Today is November 1st.
There's a picture of it right there.
Oh my gosh, look at that thing.
That's stupid.
Well,
Why would you?
I mean,
from here it doesn't look like
it is a gun. I mean, have you seen Con Air?
That's true.
Hello.
How do they know?
Hello.
There
I'm
wasn't
just a
gun
poor
in there?
boy. We're going home.
Oh, there's a closer picture of it.
Oh my god,
that's so stupid. Why would you pay money to put that in your bathroom?
Second Amendment, fucker.
Yeah.
And knowing my family, if it had a couple other like thinner rolls that had like just a little bit of extra toilet paper on it,
Actually, just a roll on top of
that's
it.
right.
A six-shooter?
Yeah. So when I sit down, I don't have to be like, oh shit, I'm out of toilet paper.
You seen that mega roll that's supposed to last like a month?
Dude, it does.
Oh, you tried it?
Oh, no. Are you talking about the Charmin one that would
Yeah.
never fit on anybody's...
It's like 6 feet
like
diameter.
Roll it like this.
Like you have to buy a specialized holder to...
It's a sham. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid. So I don't know. I was browsing Facebook ads the other day, and someone was selling one of these. It is called the Potty Piano.
Oh, is this like from Big?
Well, yeah, except that it does wrap around your toilet.
Hey.
And
I told him not to release that picture.
You play the piano with your feet while you are pooing.
So if you're constipated, this makes things flow a little. Okay.
I like it.
I want someone to go on America's Got Talent with this.
You know,
and be like, I can play the piano, but only with my feet and only when I'm sitting down.
You know, it'd be super annoying.
And it actually helps to have my pants off too.
This would ruin your day more than it would already be if you were throwing up. If you're kneeling on it.
What are you playing in there?
Playing chopsticks.
Oh, anyway, I went ahead and got these for you guys for Christmas.
Oh,
so.
thank you. I'm more of a red piano guy. So.
Oh, sorry.
I did, speaking of Christmas gifts, gifts, I got Randy a birthday present. And it's a T-shirt. I mean, I'll probably give it to him before this episode airs. I don't know. It's a T-shirt that says Catalina Wine Mixer. With like a sunset in the back. It's awesome.
Hey, will you might remind me where he lives? Because I have the Die Hard trilogy I'd like to send to him for Christmas.
Ooh.
Oh, I have yet to watch Die Hard either.
Well,
I will not allow that. I will not allow that.
I knew that would be good.
All right, one more story here out of Minnesota. A Minnesota museum has turned its creepiest dolls loose.
The Minnesota Museum.
Yeah, probably. So they have a new section there with the most creepiest dolls they could find.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's awesome.
Horrific. Speaking of that, did you guys hear about the Halloween display in Brigham City, Utah?
No.
That had decapitated babies like all over the place, like bloody, disgusting. Like it was basically
like the worst thing you could think of.
Yeah.
In Brigham City.
And the city, couldn't really do anything about it. But come on, man.
Brigham shitty.
Yeah.
They weren't on horses or anything, right? I mean, Halloween yesterday.
It's like annual murder walk. Brigham City.
These are all the dolls we've lost this year.
Well, I mean, they have a checkered past, Brigham City.
I knew it was too good to be true.
Did you guys hear about the dog? One more random headline there. I thought it was interesting. So, a lady hits a dog. She doesn't realize she hits a dog, and
I don't know why she swallowed the fly.
And the dog survives. And where's a picture? Gets right here. He's stuck in her bumper.
Oh.
And then she realizes he's in there.
It's got to be a Ford.
And rest.
Poor little bugger.
Shall we probably lasted for another mile or two?
Here's your leash.
Poor boy.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So, Chris.
Yes.
We've had him on so many times that there's really no reason for him to tell us.
Wait, I got to tell you this story.
Yeah.
It's more of a hypothetical.
Okay.
It's like a couple mediating here.
Well, no, because I want to tell this before Chris does his fun thing.
Okay.
So, I think I've told you I started listening to... I started listening to Sword and Scale. Have you listened to Sword and Scale,
No.
the podcast? It's...
I only listen to you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's really good. Some of them are really...
Stop encouraging people to listen to other podcasts.
Some of them are really creepy. So let me tell you... I'm going to tell you two. You talked about a bunker earlier for some reason. I can't remember why.
Bunker.
This is our bunker.
They talked about... they did a story about a guy. I think his name was like Peter Stelter. Anyway, something. 8 years he spent building a bunker in the woods. It was 2.5 stories, underground.
Oh.
Like super advanced. He had
what I
light
would
switches
do.
and plumbing, right? He spent 8 years building this because he thought it was the end of the world and he was going to murder his wife and daughter.
Oh,
he did
nice.
murder his wife and daughter, burnt down his house in Washington, and went and holed up in his bunker.
That last name's not Powell, is it?
Right, I know.
And then he blew up his bunker?
He
Wait,
always-
so why did he kill his wife and kids and then go to the bunker?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean, would it? You're expecting it to make
Well,
sense?
at least he'd have someone to have
I think
conversation and relations with.
He probably just I don't know.
What is he gonna freaking?
But
Does
let
he
me
have
tell you
a
another
really,
one.
Does he have a really nice fleshlight
Let me-
in
let me-
there or something?
You don't share guns. Let me tell you another one. This is a hypothetical for you.
Chris, what? listen to the episode. It'll make sense. The one we did before.
If your house was being regularly burglarized, maybe not even regularly, you just had a suspicion that it was going to happen, and so you park your car away from your house to make it look like no one's home,
Right.
and then you wait inside, and then they
Are my pants down in this situation?
Yes.
You're on the poly piano.
You're waiting for them. They burglarize your house, and when they enter, you shoot and kill them.
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh.
Are you asking me theoretically?
Yeah.
Or
hypothetically.
Hypothetically?
Yeah.
I would say it is okay. The law would tell you no.
Depending on the state,
I think
right?
the opposite of that. I think the law would tell you that it is okay, but ethically it may not be.
So you're saying that, at least in Utah, your understanding is that you cannot set up a sting in which you kill the intruder.
Oh, so that's where you're going, is like the setup, right? Not what actually the result was, but the setup.
Right, like you have a feeling that they're planning to burglarize your house, so you pretend like you leave, and then you wait for them.
I'm Macaulay Culkin them, but I really kill them.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when they come in, you kill them.
Okay.
Is that
That's premeditated.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I wouldn't want to kill them. I'd want to hold them at gunpoint so they have.
What if they had guns?
Well, then I guess I'd have to shoot them.
I mean, they did break into your house.
Yeah.
Right? So let me tell you a story.
Sure.
65-year-old Byron David Smith.
Ooh, see, the middle name, it's bad.
He did this very thing.
Hold on.
And this was outlined in, I think it's episode 15 of Sword and Scale. It's very creepy, though. This one, he played some audio that caught me completely off guard, kind of made me nauseous. Okay? So fair warning if you listen to it. Byron David Smith was a bit paranoid. His houses had been burglarized, and obviously he had the correct suspicion. He thought that was going to happen. A 17-year-old boy and an 18-year-old girl, they were cousins, broke into his house. He was laying in wait in the basement in a chair.
Oh, wow.
That's
creepy.
The 17-year-old boy came down the stairs. He shot him in the hip and then shot him 2 more times, I believe. You can hear the kid scream, like kind of more like a grunt, like, oh, you know? And I'll get to why the audio's there in a second.
Yeah, please do. That's interesting.
And then the girl comes in like 10 minutes later. You can hear him.
Fashionably late.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has a mini, what's that gun called? A mini 14? Is it a mini 14? It's a rifle.
Okay.
A Mac 14?
No.
That's a gun.
It's a Dan
it's a
Peterbilt.
mini 14. It's a rifle, and he also has a .22 pistol on his hip. Okay.
Oh, what airsoft gun?
And so the girl comes down. You can hear him shoot once, and then his mini 14 jams. You hear her scream and stumble. He gets out his .22 and shoots her 3 more times.
Jesus.
Okay. So the audio of this is what was the damning. This is what
Oh, I'm
damned
sure.
him. Okay. For some reason, he had security audio or video. Either way, you can find the audio. You can't find the video. Thank goodness. So you hear this audio though, and the host of Sword and Scale plays the audio before the thing, and he is like rehearsing a phone call that he's going to make after it happens. And this phone call is going to be to his neighbor Bruce to call a lawyer, and then come to his house. Okay,
Wow,
and he's rehearsing this phone call
deep.
out loud. He's saying like, "Hey Bruce, can you meet me at my house? You know,
Some
park up the
garbage
street
bags.
and come through the west." You know what I mean? He had laid out a tarp in his basement.
Jeez.
So yeah,
Kid needs a hobby.
this kid did break his window
Okay.
and broke in with the intent to burglarize. You know, but then you hear the audio. You hear the kid coming down. You hear the shot. You hear him scream. You hear him shoot him 2 more times, and you hear him say, "You're dead." Okay? The girl comes down. She's screaming while she's being shot, I think 2 or 3 times. And he says to her, "You're dying." And then after she is no longer making noise, he calls her a bitch.
Oh, wow.
Okay? He then calls Bruce. It was on Thanksgiving, so no lawyers were working. So instead, he tells Bruce to call the sheriff's department. He goes to the sheriff's department. He thinks he's justified in this and is explaining his side of it. He lies about a lot of the circumstances. He doesn't say that it was a setup, that it was a sting. He just says that he was there and happened to be armed because he was paranoid, because he'd been burglarized before. So he was convicted of murder.
Yeah.
To 2 counts of murder.
Sure.
The question I had though was just that, like, you should hear the way this guy talks. He talks about them like they're animals. Like he's like, I heard the girl kind of gasping, because in the audio, nothing happens after she's down for like 3 minutes, and then you hear another shot.
And he's recorded all this.
He recorded it, yeah, like in a security system. Like he had cameras. So I'm assuming there's maybe video, but you can only find the audio.
Oh, good.
So it might have been on video, but I don't know what he thought he was going to get away with because the audio was there. So I don't know why he attempted to lie about any of it. But he said that she was gasping, and so that's why he shot her again. It doesn't matter where, but he shot her again to finish her off, to take her out of her misery. He was talking about them like they're animals. Like, I shot him once and he went down, and, I didn't want him to suffer, so I shot him 2 more times. It was like, wait. So the question is, where does the line get drawn, morally or legally? If someone breaks into your house, let's say it's not a sting. Someone breaks into your house, you're justified in shooting them, right?
Kind of.
It depends on the state.
Yeah.
Some states have stand your ground.
Ours is pretty strict.
Yeah. What is ours, by the way?
So when I was in the police academy, we had a case like this out of Weber County. There was a homeless man that cooked a steak on someone's barbecue grill up in Far West.
Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Guy came out and he's like, "Hey," had his gun with him. He's like, hey, I'm just here. I'm homeless. I have some meat. He's like, "Get off my property." And he's like, no, really, just let me cook it and get out of here. Guy shot him, killed him. He's convicted of murder because basically they have a word that I cannot spell, but I can say. It's called curtilage. He was not in his curtilage.
Oh, his house?
Yep. And I guess there's a word, the curtilage is used quite a bit in the law terms, and then there's also the intent of bodily harm.
Right.
And I think that's where, at least in this state, they draw the line, no pun intended.
And then you get like the perception of bodily harm, sure. So let me give you hypothetical number one. Someone breaks into your house. You have the perception that they're going to induce bodily harm. You shoot them, and they go down. They're still alive.
And you can double tap them to make
right. Is that okay?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where it kind of was like, wait.
They're down. They're not in any unless it's like Jason Voorhees, right? And then he never dies.
Or if they were armed.
Yeah.
These kids were not armed.
Sure.
So there was a lot of weird things. And then I got thinking, okay, well, he set this up. I don't know how he knew they were going to break in that day. They don't really get into that in Sword and Scale. I'm sure if I read into the case, I could maybe find it, But if you set up a sting like that, let's say he only shot him once and injured them.
Right.
And then they got arrested. Would he then be prosecuted?
I bet not.
He's like, I set up this. Yeah. And, and I'm sure that's probably what the jury was thinking because they played, the audio was super creepy. Not of the killings, of him talking to himself before.
Because he's just whack job, right?
Yeah, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
And he talks about them like they're animals. It's super weird. But it was just a really interesting case.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray area there.
Yeah.
A lot.
So that's Sword and Scale episode 15. It's super graphic. The audio is very real. So be prepared if you get to that.
I kind of want one of these Mini 14s.
I know they're kind of a cool
They're
gun.
pretty cool looking. They kind of look like an M1 Garand.
Like he said that she laughed at him when the gun jammed after he shot her once.
Oh, really?
He shot her once. She was screaming, and you could hear in her voice like this feeling of disbelief, like, oh my, I can't believe I've just been shot. But when he's talking to the investigator, he's like, she laughed at me. So I shot her again with my pistol.
I taught her a lesson.
He had like he had a 9-shot revolver 22.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
Really sprung for that one.
I just wanted to see your hypothetical on that one. Like, you set up a sting for someone to break into your house. Can you shoot them?
You know, to your point, Spence, when I was going through the academy, that's the gun they fear the most.
What?
The
22.
22?
Oh, whatever.
Spencer isn't afraid of a 22. I'm going to shoot him with one day. Just see if it hurts.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
But I'm, you know,
if they're most afraid of the 22, then why do they pack 45s and 50 caliber guns?
They at least tell you that because I guess the 22,
it doesn't exit.
Yeah, it just kind of scrambles throughout the body or something like that.
Wow.
I'm looking at like the autopsy results of the woman, the boy, and the girl, really. And there is like a re-entrance wound on some of them, like it ricocheted and went back. Anyway, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, that was.
See, I wanted to go over that before.
Wow, that was cheery.
It wrecked my day.
Yeah.
try to, you know.
And we're back.
Yeah.
All day, all night.
Oh man.
All right. So,
thanks, Brad.
As I was saying earlier, Chris,
yes,
brought us a game.
It's a game,
or
you'll
something.
have some fun with it.
We haven't got to do this in a while because I'm lazy and haven't come up with anything, and we haven't really had a guest in a while. So
it's kind of a political game, so I hate to play that card again.
Well,
but
that's okay.
Yeah,
I love politics.
Yes, you do.
Spencer's done.
All right, you ready?
I'd rather talk about aliens and simulations.
What about Bigfoot? You want to talk about it?
We can bring that one up again. Pull up that audio.
All right, guys. So this is a political game.
Okay.
It's called Pick Chris's Presidential Candidate.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
All right.
Now you have to convince me why I should vote for this person, because right now I have an open vote.
You know, Beto dropped out.
I heard this.
Yeah, Beto dropped out today.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't. Whatever.
Oh, you just.
I already know who I'm voting.
He may not be gone for good, though.
Wink, wink.
He may not be
Vice
gone for good.
President.
Yeah, I think there's something
Vice
in play
Secretary of State.
No, he can't because he'll take his skateboard and shoot up a school with it somehow.
With a, that's weird. With a skateboard? Skaters don't
we
do that
talked
shit.
about
Man.
this. Did we not talk about this?
About Beto shooting up a school with a skateboard?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. I know he skateboards.
And I know he shoots up schools.
Huckabee, what's his name?
Mike
Huckabee on his TV show. We didn't talk about this.
Maybe we did. When we talk about a lot
where
of stuff.
he said that he talked about how we should ban skateboards because people die on skateboards.
Oh, that was his argument against guns. Okay, whatever.
Was it on Facebook Live?
I don't know. Back to your
it's
game.
on
Ted Cruz did it.
I want to talk about Mike Huckabee.
Yeah, that's right. He's weird. All right, so I pulled up the list of the remaining candidates.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we're talking about the Democratic candidate. Not that I'm not voting, partial.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured, you guys are very intelligent human beings. And I would like to be convinced on who I should vote for. Even if they have 0% chance of winning, I would like you to tell me. And I'll go quickly down the road because I know that's been a little bit of a lengthy broadcast. But, hey, it's our 1-year anniversary, right?
I don't care how long it goes.
Yeah. So I'll skip Beto because Beto's out. But I think he'll be back.
VP.
All right. So let's start with Michael Bennett. Anyway, then we'll go to.
I do not know who that is.
Didn't he used to play in Las Vegas a lot or something?
I thought he was a defensive tackle for somebody.
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't think there's a lot of worthy notes on Michael Bennett because I didn't.
You
even know
search
he was
Michael
still there.
Bennett and it's a football player.
Yeah.
If you Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only with one T though.
Oh.
Yeah. He's
There
the
we
one
go.
T, Michael Bennett.
He must play on the Bears because he's a loser.
Oh.
His brother played for the Bears.
It's cold.
All right, so give me a reason to vote for Joe Biden.
He's white and a man.
Okay.
He's qualified.
Okay.
He's
a little swampy though.
He is one.
So am I.
Currently,
I didn't wipe good enough earlier.
You need that
Swamp ass.
holder, yeah.
He is currently still the leader to beat Trump which is an ingredient.
That is a big factor for me.
I do think that he could. I mean, they all seem to be poised to beat Trump, but I think Biden could do it pretty handedly.
Yeah, he still has the highest polls in terms of it. And if you liked Obama policies, then there's a good chance.
This is Obama light.
Yeah,
I think he's
Obama
kinda,
white.
Obama white.
I would make the argument though that Joe is trying to ride that coattail.
Oh, for sure, no
And
doubt
he's
about
got
it.
to though, right?
Yeah.
Because we're trying to get back to normalcy.
Dude, with freaking Woody Harrelson on SNL, he puts the teeth in.
All right.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so I think Joe's the safe bet, right?
Yeah, I think that like Spencer said, he would just kind of extend Obama era policies.
Okay, fair enough. Steve Bullock, do you know who that is?
Is he related to Steve Bannon?
Steve Bloke?
Because they're both of their names are Steve.
He's the governor of Montana who got in late.
Oh, Bullock?
Wait,
Bullock.
the governor of Montana is a Democrat?
Yeah, I know.
What the?
I did hear him talk actually, and I liked what he
He's
had
not
to say.
bad.
Yeah.
I don't think he's getting enough looks, but I don't think he's also made a lot of the debates either because of the financial check marks.
And, yeah, and the polls. That's going to be tough.
All right. So here's one I really want to emphasize. I need you to sell me on Pete. And it won't take much, to be honest with you.
Pete is without a doubt the smartest candidate.
Correct.
He's gay.
Do you think that hurts him?
Yes.
Yes.
Even with the Electoral College?
Yeah, I think
especially with the Electoral College.
Moderate Republicans
Won't do it?
won't do it.
Okay. But Trump's okay, but a gay guy's not go.
Right.
Okay.
No,
Fair
it
enough.
doesn't. You can have like 6 affairs and grab girls by the pussy.
Don't even think
but
about
God,
the ass.
if you put your wiener in a butthole, then that's where I draw the line.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Or
No,
scissor? Your cloaca.
He's by far the smartest, the most eloquent.
Uh-huh.
I've heard he has the biggest penis.
So here's why I think Pete is credible. I think he's obviously the most intelligent. He's young. He's not a progressive, but he's young enough where progressives would appeal to him.
Right. He's a veteran.
He's a veteran.
That's nice.
He is from a rural red state.
Yep.
Even though he bats for the other team.
Yeah, South Bend.
Are you
Keep
talking
in mind,
about
Notre Dame guy, right?
You got to be more specific when you say bat for the other team.
He's homosexual.
I know, but he means
He's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
No, he's the only left hitter.
This is Mike Pence's state.
Right. Exactly.
Right? He's a mayor in Mike Pence's state where he passed that horrific law that you could discriminate.
Because I'll be honest with you right now, if it were today and it was Mayor Pete or Joe and I knew Mayor Pete could win, I would vote for Pete.
I would too. Over Joe. Yeah.
But to your point, and I think to half of America's point, we just want to get rid of the problem, right?
Yeah.
And
but we have other opportunities. Like I don't like Joe's. The main hang up I'm having with Joe, and I need to do a little bit more research.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like his ideas for health care.
Right.
I'm ready. Not only do I want to get rid of the problem, but I want to start making some progress and moving forward on things. And that's why I don't really like Joe Biden because he's old school.
He's old school.
That's what I mean. Like he just wants to keep the status quo with healthcare, which is not good.
So I also think this plays to Pete's hand a little bit, right? Because he's kind of splitting down the middle of a progressive / mainstream guy, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's his strong point. But I think that, I hate to say it, the one thing that's going to trip him up is his sexual preference.
Sure.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and he's starting to be. I mean, he's not like he's ever not been open about it, but he is starting to be a little bit more public appearances with his husband and stuff like that, which I think will help in the long run. And maybe that was part of the plan.
And let's look at the political side. He's got almost the most money of any candidate that's stored away, right? He's got like $24 million raised, and he's barely spent any of it from what I understand. And he's kind of that slow burn that Obama was. Remember when Clinton had all the press and Obama was running and everybody's like, oh, who's this guy? I didn't even know him.
As a one-term senator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just watched a poll in Iowa anyway. Iowa.
Yeah.
He's third place, 18%.
That's pretty high numbers.
For Iowa.
That's high numbers.
Yeah. So I just want to hit on a few other ones. Some of these I'll just ignore because they're irrelevant in my opinion. So tell me why Kamala Harris has dropped down so much.
She's I don't know.
No.
I don't like her.
Really?
Not really.
Oh man, I actually really like
I
her.
think she's too fangy.
I think that her
She's too much of a bulldog. Anything?
right,
Yeah.
which I'm not calling either of you as sexist.
I am. I love women a lot.
You know,
I've had sex.
But you-
thoughts? No.
but you have to be careful with that. Not because of the offense. I'm not talking about being offensive or anything. I'm talking about if a man was behaving that way, you might call him strong.
No, I don't mean that. I mean she just reminds me of an average politician, and
I think
it doesn't.
Out of all the
it's not
candidates,
appealing to me.
she would beat Trump in the debates easier than any of them.
okay. Whoa. Hillary beat Trump in the debates.
No, she didn't. He walked all over her.
Especially on the second one.
I just that's not where we need to win. We don't need to win the debates. We need to.
No, the Trump embarrassed Hillary in the debates.
Well,
he embarrassed her.
Well, what do you expect? She freaking runs a child sex ring in the basement of a pizza parlor.
Kamala would embarrass Trump in the debates.
Yeah, but she has.
I'll tell you why she's gone down.
Yeah, go ahead.
She's gone down because of her years as a prosecutor. She was hard on drug offenders,
and that's
which is not popular with progressives.
Correct.
That's why.
Okay. So I'll tell you. I'll shorten this up a little bit. There's like 5 people that I'm strongly considering. Right. Uncle Joe's my safe bet. Right. Because he's my Trump out guy.
Yep.
I really like Mayor Pete, but I think I hate to say it. I don't think that enough of America is going to get on board with that. Right.
Right.
Even though I think he's got all the right speaking points.
Move.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the one area that he struggles in is the African American demographic, because they had a South Bend shooting.
Oh, that's
and
right.
That's really burned a hole in it a little bit.
Yeah, they had the cop shooting. Yeah.
And listen, I'm not a progressive hater, but I think Bernie's kind of like that full-time politician guy, right? And I think a lot of people, even though his numbers are good, I think a lot of people are burning out.
I think that
I am.
I'm
over Bernie.
No. And I think that's why Elizabeth's doing so well, is because she's like the clone of Bernie, but not Bernie, right?
The way I look at Bernie is like if being progressive was like a rubber band, he is the thing pulling that rubber band. He is the thing pulling the left to the left.
Yep.
Right? And moderate Democrats are on the other end holding it back. I'm not saying either one is good or bad, but Bernie is by far the furthest left, pulling the party that direction, you know, in terms of universal health care. He's a democratic socialist. He identifies as that.
Do you think Warren's too left to get elected?
I
No.
want to carry Elizabeth Warren's baby.
Oh, after McAdams, or
At the same time.
Both of them at the same time, honestly. Elizabeth Warren's my, mostly because she'll pay off my student loan.
It's actually a big thing. It's come up
It
multiple
is.
times.
It's a huge
Mark
thing.
Cuban's a huge. I like some of his talking points. On
I
this,
think
actually.
that he should really just join the race, really.
Cuban?
But, yeah.
Really?
He's talked about it. He's floated the idea.
Oh.
Elizabeth Warren, I think I've said this before in the show, she has a plan for everything. And she can, so does Bernie, but she lays it out easier than he does.
Yeah.
The plan for how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for that? The only place that she's got hung up is when it comes to universal health care.
Right.
She believes that the American people, and she may be right, are too short-sighted or too ignorant to understand the concept that your premiums will go down and your taxes will go up.
Right.
So she refuses to admit that your taxes will go up.
Right.
Bernie will admit it.
Which is to his credit.
But every time he says it, he tries to explain to people, but your premiums come down, so you're netting more.
Right.
You will
But
be,
Elizabeth Warren just came out with her plan like today, her health care plan.
no, she's always had it. She's always known how she's going to pay for all of this stuff.
Right.
You know, like taxing trades, having the wealth tax. I like the wealth tax. I don't see how it can be implemented. The rich hide their money in too many different kinds of assets.
Oh.
So
Jeff Bezos would pay nearly $7 billion to Elizabeth Warren's Medicare for All tax. Good.
All right. Final question on the game. And this is, I'm going to narrow down to 2 candidates, and they're not front runners. And that's the only 2 you can choose. And when I say you, I'm like, you're America, right?
Okay.
You either have to go with Pete Buttigieg
Okay.
or Andrew Yang.
Oh, Buttigieg.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think that Andrew Yang.
Now I'm going to.
I
Now
think
I'm
he's
playing
incredibly
a couple.
smart.
I'm playing a couple cards here, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going. One's homosexual.
Yep.
One is an Asian American.
Asian. Yep.
And they're both very intelligent guys.
Yep.
One's very down, more middle, and Ying's a little bit more of a progressive, but he's got some good ideas, right?
Yeah. In terms of financials, I would trust Yang. You know what I mean? But
So he would be your Department of Finance.
Right. He's not. Buttigieg has him on the charisma.
Yeah.
He destroys him in charisma. You know, when Mayor Pete smiles, you smile. You know, that's he's very, very charismatic, and Yang's not really. You know.
Yeah. Do you think he's gotten better over the debates he's been in, though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not sold on his $1,000 a month allowance that every American would get. You know, I don't.
Wouldn't
really...
that just cause inflation to go up a little bit?
No, not
And,
necessarily.
I don't know.
Not necessarily. You know, there's a lot of economic laws that aren't true, like the whole if you raise minimum wage, then prices go up. It's not true. Just look at all the cities that have done it. You know, I know people will say I'm wrong, but it's look at Seattle, right? They raised the minimum wage that actually opened more jobs because all of a sudden all these, if you want to, let's take fast food as an example, right? They raised minimum wage, all of these minimum wage workers now can afford to eat at the restaurants that they work at. So it actually creates more jobs, puts more money back in the economy. So there's this old economic rule that if you raise wages, you have to raise the cost of the product. It's not true.
Do you think so? You think Mayor Pete cannot beat Trump?
No, I think he could beat Trump.
You think so?
And in fact, all the polls say he would. It's just that Biden, Warren, and Sanders are currently polling to beat him easier. You know, I think in the polls, if I go to Real Clear Politics, it says it has all of those, which I don't know if I've told you guys. Real Clear Politics, where it's at. They combine all of the polls together. So the latest presidential race, Biden's still in the lead for the Democratic nod.
To your point, I did do some research today, and I didn't know if you two gentlemen were aware of this. Do you know that the first presidential debate is in South Bend, Indiana?
Ooh, that's convenient.
And the vice president debate is in Salt Lake City.
True story.
Ooh. Where's it at?
University of Utah.
That's cool. Kingsbury?
I don't know. I just said University of Utah.
I think it is at Kingsbury.
That's going to be hard to get in.
Right.
It's small.
It is.
It's small. Oh, it's not on here. They update their polls all the time. Anyway, they all have all four of those candidates are polling to beat Trump in a head-to-head. So out of I don't know how many people they ask, right? With polls, it could be like 10 people.
Sure.
They're all polling to beat him. So, but between those two, Buttigieg is where it's at for sure.
Where do you guys stand right now? I mean, you're still open-minded?
Yeah. No, I think if.
No, I Heil Hitler.
I'm torn.
So you're for the status quo?
Yeah.
I'm legitimately torn between Sanders and Warren.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Warren a lot.
Do you think she can beat Trump?
I honestly think anyone can beat Trump at this point. Like any of the main Bernie, Warren, Dick Van Dyke.
I think that the important
only
states,
with the Penguins though.
Yeah. The important states that Trump won.
Right. He's lost credibility.
Yeah. Look at coal. Did you hear about coal? The biggest coal company in the states, or one of the biggest, just filed Chapter 11. It's the guy, the Crandall Canyon. He owns that mine here in Utah that collapsed and killed those miners, you know. Yep. But he lives in like Ohio or something like that. But yeah, the coal's going out of business. Well, it should, first of all, you know. But that's going to piss off that part of his base there. And then you have things like the GM strike that just lasted for 45 days.
Yeah.
That's not Trump's fault, right?
But it's on his watch.
Yep. And all the farmers in the Midwest that voted for him, they're mad as hell.
Have you guys looked up? Farmers are very techie now. Have you looked into this?
Oh, yeah, they have sensors
Holy
and shit.
Crap.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's satellite imagery on where they need the crops and stuff, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I thought they were a bunch of rednecks.
No, man. Only some of them.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you ever get dick stink?
It's a spit take. I was waiting for it.
Only on Fridays.
I mean, I don't, but I just wondered if your
I know that's not true.
your penis ever smells like rotten tuna fish or anything.
I know that's not true for you.
What?
Spence teabag or something.
That's terrible.
What would it be with a stank?
Well, let's pray together, huh?
Yeah. Spencer's about done. He had 3 of those. The 1 year. This is fantastic. How many times have you been on the show now? We need to get him a 5-time robe.
4 or 5, yeah.
We can get you a robe.
Actually, we don't give out robes. We give out hospital gowns.
That's true.
And we require you to wear them.
I will just say,
it's gold, though.
Sounds like a piano.
This is one of the best ideas that Spencer and I have ever had. Is doing this podcast.
Yes, I would agree with that.
It's been super fun.
And,
it's incredibly
and
therapeutic.
Bringing Quinn into this world. We did that.
We did that.
Me and him.
We did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Babies come out
We
of
actually
the pot,
don't know.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm glad we do it. I love this guy over here. We have a
What's
good time.
not to love?
By the way, we're in a band together called Rejected Takeoff. We've
true.
noticed that some of you have gone and listened to some of the music. We got 5 singles up on iTunes, maybe only 4 right now. We're working on getting one back up.
I forgot to renew one.
Just happens to be the best song.
Yeah. So it's
Fix the glitch, Spence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my apologies.
We're on Facebook. We're on iTunes. We're on Google, Amazon. Same
We're
places.
on everything.
Everything. Same places all the
Literally,
podcast is.
there's. Well, I subscribe to every. There's,
Yeah.
Unless it's brand new, we're on it.
Right. Make sure you check out Spencer's Etsy shop. Go to
Ooh,
Etsy
yeah.
and search Scary Parrot, one word.
I've
Not,
been on
not
Etsy
one
a lot
word.
lately.
Scary Parrot Media.
I think you can get there with Scary
I'm
Parrot.
sure, probably.
Either way. Chris, thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you so much for having
One of
me.
my best friends. Good to have you here.
Absolutely.
Find us at The Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. TheArcticPodcast.com. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review, a rating. Tell us how much you love Chris. And share with your friends. For episode 71 and our 1-year anniversary, I'm Bryan.
Oh, I'm pregnant. See you next time.